Hey everyone, and good evening. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's been having an absolutely fabulous week. I do apologize for the lighting. Definitely not how I wanted to do it, but still a work in progress because I've been moving, I've been trying to unpack, I've been trying to get into my new routine. It's been interesting to say the least. But hey, I am back on track. Mystic Moon is pretty much gone and done. I do still have some of the products left, so if you are in the Stark County area, feel free to hit me up and we can definitely talk turkey about maybe doing a live shopping session and a local pickup so you don't have to worry about paying shipping. If you are outside of the Stark County area, we can still work something out. But I think that's pretty much it as far as the updates. For tonight, though, it is all about you guys. We'll be doing personalized readings. I'll be doing a few open readings in case we don't get anyone that would like a reading. And in the event that anyone would like a reading, I am putting that in the comments right now so that you guys can kind of get an idea for how things are going to roll. All readings are $15 for 15 minutes, or I can do a single yes-no card or thought-provoking card, if you will, for $5. That will be Cash App or Venmo to MysticMnMadness. You can say you've got a question, and as soon as I see the feed pop up on my phone that I am using for music, so no worries about me missing it, we can definitely get you rolling and seeing what's going on in your world. And if you would like to book a private session with me, I do offer bookings for virtual readings. It'll be me and you on Facebook chat or wherever else we can find, Google Meet, whatever works best for everybody. And you can actually use the booking link that is also in the comments. Sorry if I'm talking a little fast. I think I got a little over-caffeinated a little bit ago. So bear with me while I kind of go through this fun little circle of hyper. But I guess while we're waiting on people who would like a reading or anyone who would like a quick question answered, let's do a few demos, I guess, after I get some water. One of the drawbacks of over-caffeination, hyper thirsty. But unfortunately, also, we will be stuck on my computer until I can get 50 subscribers. So if you don't mind sharing the channel with your friends, family, coworkers, everybody, so we can start using my cell phone instead of my computer and make it a lot easier for you guys to see the cards as I'm doing them, that would be excellent. And I do also apologize. I've now been posting the daily forecast from Facebook to here. It's, like I said, been interesting trying to get into my new normal. But let's grab my Lenormand cards and kind of take a sneak peek into a random world, shall we? And if you're not used to Lenormand cards, what they are a type of card reading that is very similar to tarot and oracle cards. They're a little more in-depth than oracle cards, but more direct than your tarot. And they're also very, very literal. Like if you see for example, let's grab something super literal here. Like, say, you know what? First thing that I could find was a lady card, one of my lady cards. Typically, that would mean someone that is either a legit woman or someone that identifies as female. Same with the man card. Someone that is either legitimately a man or identifies as a man. Or even, you know what, with the magnifying glass. You need to look at something a little more closely to kind of see what is really going on in the world around you. So I'm not going to lie, definitely love doing readings with these cards just because they are a next level kind of interesting. But for the moment, we're going to do a 9-card spread for a friend of mine who recently got a job opportunity, and we're going to kind of see how it's going to go for her, what's it going to look like, and if it's really the best thing. that she should do right at this moment in time. And just a heads up, I will only be online for about an hour or so. So if you are kind of lurking, kind of waiting to see if you want a reading or not, just a heads up, there is just a little bit of a time limit. But for my friend, let's check her out real quick. Okay, so the first row is going to be where she's at now. And the second row is her current situation. As my cards like to try to fly everywhere. And there we go. And the final row is kind of like her forecast, if you will. And it looks like we have a couple extra that are more or less I want to say an extra message. Ooh, itchy. So I'm actually going to use one of my flashlights here to kind of give us a brighter view of my cards, so that when I bring my computer over, we can see them a little better. And let's move you guys over here a little bit so you guys can kind of see what I see. All right. So I know that it's not exactly how it is for you guys, but unfortunately kind of the best we're working with at the moment. So currently, with where she's at now, we have the mountain card, the cross, and the storks. In Lenormand, this is telling us that she is going through some obstacles and a lot of strife in her life, a lot of struggles, and trying to find her new normal herself, her own routine at home. And her current situation is she's trying to find herself. She's trying to find who she wants to be versus the face that she gives the world, and trying to make a choice on that. And she also has the star card, which means that things are going to start looking up and start looking better as she's overcoming these new obstacles in her life, which is actually excellent. But her forecast, it's a little weird because we have the tulips, dice, and the stairwell. Now these together are telling me that there's going to be a gift, and that gift is going to be the gift of chance, where she's going to have to make a decision on something. And I imagine it's probably going to have something to do with what these three cards are over here. Because we have the birch, the messenger card, and the ship card. Now, those three together are telling me that we're still dealing with a lot of family strife, but there's going to be a message that is going to lead her forward in the situation that she's in. I want to say that those last three cards are not exactly dealing with the main reading, if you will, but probably like an extra message, more along the lines of kind of like a, hey, I know you're looking at this, but by the way, you also need to check this out, because sometimes my cards do that. But it does look like either way, she is going through some shit right now. Definitely not exactly the happiest place in the world. And she is trying to re-find herself and her new purpose, while trying to stay optimistic and overcoming these obstacles and these challenges. But the gift of chance, the gift of fate, if you will, and being able to make a choice very soon does look to be definitely going in her favor. Because along with going row by row, you can also read Lenormand by crisscrossing the upper left all through the middle to the lower right, and vice versa with the upper right through the middle to the lower left. So all around, it definitely looks like there are positive changes coming to her, which I'm not going to lie, definitely ecstatic because, hey, we all want the best for our friends. But there's one open read for us. Let's go with, you know what, let's do an open reading for someone because I'm very sure that it's got to be someone's birthday today. Because, hey, every day we have so many odd number of people born every day, right? Chances are someone that was born on November 16th at some point in the last few years is eventually either currently watching or going to watch the replay. So let's kind of get an idea for what their main outlook is for their next 365 days and how they can either make it better or encourage a good trajectory, depending on what my tarot cards tell me. So for whoever's birthday it is, what is the main theme for your next 365, and how can we either make it better or encourage the trajectory? And I do hope that if today is your birthday, happy birthday, by the way, and you have some excellent plans, because birthdays should be celebrated. The fact that we're all surviving one more year in this day and age is nothing short of a damn miracle. I mean, when you look at just everything from the new stressors to how our world is just completely changing across the board in every aspect, financially, spiritually, socially, every year is a damn gift anymore. So for our birthday person, let's check you out. All right. Well, we've definitely got some words for you, it looks like. Well, my dear November 16th birthday person, I'm not going to lie, it's not all sunshine and daisies, but you know what? We're looking at an entire year for you. So, that being said, let's grab our handy dandy computer up here. Okay, so it looks like the main view of your next 365 is the Sun card. Luckily, it's looking like things are actually going to be absolutely beautiful for you overall in your next 365, because it's looking like you're definitely going to find at some point next year you're happily ever after. But just a quick heads up, it's looking like it's definitely not going to last. Mostly because of communication. You guys are going to have a hard time communicating with each other, sharing your ideas, and actually working together to encourage a great relationship. I'm not saying y'all are going to break up. I'm just saying that there's definitely going to be a rocky patch somewhere along the way. I imagine it's probably going to be because of friends butting their nose in and not just listening to everything and just making their own biased opinions, just because Three of Wands is typically cohorts, collaborators, people that we definitely see on a regular basis, but not necessarily have a huge, huge impact in our lives. And I'm not going to lie, with this strife with our Three of Wands here, you're definitely going to feel like you've lost a lot and you're shoved out of where you're comfortable and feeling safe. But luckily, there is a tiny light at the end of the tunnel, which is you're going to learn from whatever mistake was made and you're definitely going to heal from it. You're going to make sure that you move past it. So, while it's definitely not absolutely amazing, at the same time, though, some heads up is better than none, if you ask me, at least. Sorry, grabbing my cord off the floor before somebody trips and dies. Nothing worse than the idea of that happening. Ugh. Definitely awkward. But yeah, if anyone would like a reading, you just happen to be lurking and waiting, feel free to open your app and say, hey, I'm looking to get a reading tonight, and I'll be happy to help you out. I guess while we're waiting, you know what? Let me give you a few more updates about what's been going on in my world. So I mentioned how I closed Mystic Moon. It was a metaphysical store that I opened back in June of 2021. Unfortunately, my super bright self thought that moving it from Massillon, Ohio to Alliance, Ohio would be an absolutely great idea. And at the time it was. It was going to work great for myself, for my family. Going to be in what looked to be a halfway decent location. Little did I realize it was going to be a quiet death sentence. But you know what? Mystic Moon still survived 2 years, almost 2.5, and it was definitely a huge learning experience. So it is sad that I had to kill my third child, but you know what? Still learned a lot along the way. But for right now, it looks like I'm pretty much going to be spending my next, who knows how long, doing tarot readings, oracle readings, door dashing, and I'm always happy to work with anybody on making sure that not only do you get readings from me, but say you've got questions about chakras, how magic really works, the safe way to use it, not the, hey, I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm doing and give you a whole bunch of charms that I half-assed know what they do. No, I've been a practicing witch for over 20 years, so I am definitely going to make sure that you not only know what you're doing, but I'm also going to give you the, by the way, if you choose to do this, this could happen speech. Because I feel like you should always know that before you do any spell, what could happen as far as A, B, or C. Because let's face it, I've already made most of the mistakes. Let's let you guys learn from my mistakes and try not to do those. Much like with, for example, if you ever want to know my views on cord cuttings, I am actually heavily against them for several reasons. And if you ever want to know those reasons, I am happy to explain the reasoning why. If you want to know how to work with your chakras other than just with stones and sound waves, I'm happy to help you out those too, because there's different foods, there's candles, there's actually even pop culture songs that do work with your chakras so that you can actually balance those out if you can't get to a Reiki healer or you're uncomfortable going to a Reiki healer. Oh, what else do I know stuff about? Oh, shadow work. If you're working on actually doing your shadow work, it is more than just healing from your childhood trauma. It is so much more than just healing from your childhood trauma. So whoever tries to tell you, oh, you just need to work on your trauma and you've done all your shadow. No. Shadow work is way more than just healing from your trauma. Shadow work is looking at all of your dark self, all of your not so pleasant qualities, because we all got them. If you're human, you got some not so pleasant qualities. Mine is typically I'm too honest and I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. So anyone who tries to say that shadow work is just healing from, no. It is looking at the darker half of yourself and either squaring with what you can't fix and fixing what you can. But now that we've had that small tangent, just a heads up, we've got only about a half hour left of me being on here. So if anyone would like a reading, they are $15 for 15 minutes or single cards for $5 and can be paid using CashApp or Venmo, MysticMnMadness, no O's in the moon. Or if you're interested in just booking a personalized reading, the link is there as well. But in the meantime, let's look at, well, let's do a moon sign. Because I do have some handy dandy zodiac dice right here. And the reason why I do moon signs over sun signs is a very, very simple and basic reason. Your sun sign is more or less your stem cell, your starter block of yourself. Whereas your moon sign is how you process the world around you. It's how you process your emotions. It's what really makes you actually more yourself than any other portion of your chart. Because how you process the world around you is you. So let's check out what our moon sign that we're going to be doing a reading on can do with my Spirit Mama deck. And let's check out what they can work on and how we can help them work on it. And we are looking at moon sign Cancer. So if your moon is in Cancer, this is for you. And we're going to take a peek at what you can work on as far as yourself and how you can either work on a little better or something you can probably even tone down or unlock, depending on what my cards tell us. All right, so we got what you can work on. And what you need to unblock a little better and work with. So our moon in Cancer, people. Let's grab you guys up and check you out over here with where all my cards are hiding out at. So the thing that you need to work on is Mama Magic. All right. This is telling me that you need to work on not only being a more nurturing version of yourself, but you need to realize that you have the ability to create a brand new life for yourself and the people around you. Mama Magic is all about creation and nurturing. So, grant we are in November, but that does not mean that it is too late to start planting a spiritual garden versus a physical one and start actually helping create it. Because remember how I mentioned that shadow work? You've got a lot of healing to do. We've got an upside down healing mother. So that tells me that you've definitely got some things that are very deeply, deeply rooted inside of you that you need to start addressing and healing. And a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that you probably required a little more nurturing than what you did as a child. Or you've been shelving those emotions and not doing enough TLC for yourself. And I'm leaning towards not enough TLC towards yourself and actually doing self-care because we have an upside down, we are all one. So that tells me that you, while it's not a bad thing, you're typically a loner. You don't like to ask people for help. You like to actually typically push them away and say, "Nah, I got this." You need to start letting people in and letting people actually help you, because that is what's going to help you start remembering your creation magic, your ability to create that new life. Because one of the things that you're going to start doing today is the nurturing mother card. You're going to start actually taking care of yourself. You're going to start actually doing that self-care and making it more than just a chore. You're going to make it actually a part of your routine where you're going to actually start treating yourself better, where you're going to start actually working with yourself to start being better for yourself, because it's great that you're there for everybody. It really is. But at the same time, if you are not doing that self-care, if you're not making sure that you're diffusing, if you're not making sure that you are letting things go, the only thing you're doing is probably making yourself even more exhausted than what you are on a regular basis. Whew. And did I mention that I get a little thirsty doing this stuff? Ugh. All right. Well, it's just me and you guys. And I am out of ideas for open readings for a hot minute, so we'll just sit here and chat and hang out. As my friend laughs at me because she's hanging out while I do the live and laughing at me because I am sorry, but you can only do so many open reads before you kind of need a quick break. I'm going to be honest with you guys about that one. Whew. But we talked about how Mystic Moon unfortunately did close, and I am now doing tarot readings as a full-time thing instead of just a part-time. Typically only servicing, I'm not gonna lie, more or less the Northeast Ohio area as far as in-person readings, just because, hey, it's closer. I don't think you guys want to be charged too much on mileage, but hey, for the most part, I am more than happy to drive pretty much anywhere just to, get a new scenery, get a new view. But tarot parties are most definitely a thing. So if anyone is considering on having one, I heavily encourage it, not just because I don't mind having extra bookings, but also because think about how much fun it would be to have a tarot reader at your New Year's Eve party, okay? Picture this. Everyone is having a great time. The ball hasn't dropped yet. Snacks and drinks are abound, and everyone's having a great time. But you also get the joy of having someone there to give everyone a forecast of their next year. Tell me that doesn't sound like a badass time. I mean, seriously. And the best part is I can do pretty close to 30 people in under 4 hours. So even if the party starts at, say, 7, 8 o'clock, I can get through probably everybody before we all have to stop reading and go watch the ball drop, because who doesn't love watching that? Definitely would never want to do it in person just because that is a lot of people and a lot of weirdos. And that's saying a lot considering I am a weirdo. But watching on the telly and just enjoying the good company, abso-freaking-lutely, every damn year. So if that sounds like something that's way up your alley, I would say definitely send me a message, call me up, whatever is best for you to make sure that you book that that New Year's party sooner rather than later, because once I'm booked, I'm booked. Unfortunately, there is only just me still, so until I get a cloning machine, definitely book me when you can, while you can. And I'm not going to lie, the booking link is pretty much just for an individualized personal reading, but you are always welcome to message me on Facebook. It is pretty much the same thing, Seeing with Sam or Sam Reading Ohio, depending on what's easier to look for. And another good way to get a hold of me is really if I've been door dashing in your neighborhood, more than likely you had a little flyer that has a Seeing with Sam or Light Your Path along with a QR code with the Facebook page along with it. So definitely something that, hey, it can't hurt to look into. And if you are just joining us, I am doing personalized readings for another 20 or so minutes, and 15 minutes are $15, or a single card is $5 using CashApp or Venmo. Dealer's choice. And forgive me while I finish up my sugar. I'm supposed to be quitting. Don't tell my kids. But that will be a New Year's resolution probably this year, that I'm going to feel like all the other years. But you know what? It saves me from having to worry about all the other things that I could be addicted to. So, of the losses and wins, not a bad one. Not a bad one. But I'm thinking once I finish this, we'll probably do another open reading and probably do an open reading for all the parents out there, because I know I am guilty as shit about doing this one, but self-care and being a single mom of 2 girls, definitely not a high priority like it probably should be. But I have a delightful self-care deck that I think we'll be taking a peek at and kind of seeing what we can't do for our parents out there that are going to probably watch the replay, because they are probably dead tired after their long day with work, kids, family planning, and all the other crazy things that comes with being a parent. Honestly, these parents that can work a full-time regular job, raise their kids, do PTO meetings, and still make an actual dinner at the end of the day, hats off to them, because I'm lucky to make sure that I do better than just chicken nuggets some days, if I'm going to be honest. Don't worry, not McDonald's chicken nuggets, but the kind you get from the frozen section at Aldi or something like that. Yeah, I'm that guy. But for our parents out there that are really crappy at their self-care, let's see what are some things that you can't add in. And we'll do a few different ones. We'll do for the parents out there with a partner, parents out there without a partner. And by partner, I mean like the other, both parents are involved in the kids' lives. We all know those guys. And we'll also do one for the parents that want to be more often in their kids' lives, but the quote-unquote custodial parent is either a dick or a bitch. So for our parents with an active partner in their kids' lives, we've got a card for you. For the legit single parents that cannot get help from their partner, let's get your card. And for the parents that want to be in their kids' lives, but the custodial parent just sucks, let's get your card. Oh. Looks like you guys get a triple. All right, so for our parents that have an active and really good partner, hats off to you, because you are the lucky ones. Appreciate that sucker, male or female, doesn't matter. Appreciate the fact that you have an active partner, because that extra set of hands I know you sometimes take for granted, but they are the best. Because I can only imagine what it's like sometimes. But for those of you guys with an active parenting partner, have a good laugh. Start laughing a little more with your partner, because you guys are probably so busy doing all the things that you kind of forget each other now and again. Not intentionally by any means, but definitely make sure that you guys have just a good laugh. Watch an old school comedy and just enjoy each other's company for a few minutes, because sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget to appreciate our partner and just learn to laugh with them instead of talking about all the things that are required to be done. For our parents that are unfortunately full-blown single parents and trying to do it all themselves, I'm right there with you, so I feel your pain. But be a compass, all right? You are the one that is driving your family's train, and you definitely need to make sure that you are showing your little or littles, depending on the case, what is the right and true moral path, what is the right and true society path. Show them the way to make sure that they become the best people they absolutely can, because I know it gets frustrating trying to juggle their school functions, work, housework, all the things. I know that it gets real sometimes, but you still need to make sure that you are being an example for those kids, and make sure that you are communicating with them and letting them know that you are there and that you are trying to teach them the best you can. And for our parents who are trying like hell to be in their kids' lives, but they just keep on getting blocked by the other parent, I have seen you guys. I know the struggles that you guys go through sometimes because a lot of my friends are exactly that same way. Don't give up, but definitely make sure that you remember to stay true to yourself. All right. That is probably the biggest advice I can ever give you. Don't change yourself to try and get the other parent to work more with you, work better with you, unless it's something that legitimately needs worked on. Stay true to yourself and remember to be yourself because those are the things that your kids are going to remember. Okay. They're going to remember who you are, not the person that you decided to put on just to get the other parent to play nice. But also stay firm in that, okay? While you're being yourself, stay firm in being yourself. Let people know that you are not going to change you just to appease somebody else. You're not going to do the stupid little hoops just to appease somebody. No. If it is something that you legitimately need to work on, okay, that's something totally different. But if it is something that is just your true core self, your honesty, your playfulness, whatever that is, keep it. Because at the end of the day, guess what? The only people that are really going to care about who you are your kids and the people that legitimately love you. Everyone else, you're going to be nothing but a vague memory at best. So why not just be you while you can be you? And I do regularly also do a self-care reading on my Facebook page on Saturdays because, hey, self-care Saturday. And as I mentioned earlier in the live, I will try to do better on making sure that I download those videos from Facebook and post them on here so that, because I know that a lot of people are getting rid of their Facebook profiles. I don't blame you. I'd get rid of it myself if it wasn't for the fact that that's where most people know where to find me. But c'est la vie, right? And I'm thinking I'm going to be on for another 10 or so minutes. So let's do one more open reading before I call it a night. Because unfortunately, 6 a.m. comes early. And as I mentioned before, I am unfortunately one of those moms that has minimal help at best from the other parents. So, not bad people, just delightfully absent. But we're actually going to grab my Gypsy Witch cards. They're very similar to my... You know what? Nah. You know what we're going to do? We are actually going to completely change gears a little bit here and grab one of my other Oracle decks. Now, these guys are actually pretty nifty because they're actually a three-parter. They have a planet section, a zodiac section, and a house section. They're called karma cards. And the nifty thing about these guys is when you get them all together after you get your card from each pile, they actually make a full-blown sentence, whether action or outcome, that have a spiritual, mental, and physical message, which I honestly find is great. But I'm not going to lie, when it comes to these cards, I kind of cheat on how to get them because that is thin on trying to shuffle. Thin. So a dear friend of mine actually found some dice for me that actually correlate very well because it does have a planet dice, a zodiac dice that I like to use for whenever I do my moon sign readings, and a 12-sided house dice. So I actually roll these guys to get my answers. when it comes to these cards. So for this next time, we will actually do an action for whoever needs to hear this to make sure that they make the rest of their November as best as they possibly can. So if this message resonates with you, definitely perk up your ears and pay attention. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't be ashamed to share the replay, because someone you know might need to hear this. And I'm sure we can all agree that forewarned is way better than blindsided. And if you can save somebody from having a faceplant and making sure that they have their best rest of the month ever, why not? But for whoever needs to hear this, how can they make their end of November the best that they possibly can? Alrighty. So we've got Uranus. We will get that card out. In Leo. Let's get that card out. And last but not least, in the third house. And let's get that card out real quick. All right. So let's move my computer over here a little bit so that we can all see what I'm doing over here. All right. If I don't accidentally, you know what? We're going to make this a little bit easier, because that glare is just going to drive all of us crazy. So this is definitely going to be interesting. And I do apologize that it's going to be pretty much backward on your end. But I'm going to have you guys kind of see what I mean by how they kind of make a sentence here. The best I can hold these. And like I said, to make all of our lives a little easier, help me get to that 50 subscribers before our next session next Thursday at 9, because this would be so much easier if I was able to do it on my phone, and YouTube has these funny rules where I need 50 subscribers before I can do that. Help me help you. But as I said, we have a spiritual, mental, and physical answer. And spiritually, our person, whoever this is, spiritually stir up the situation by using leadership, by making the right connections. So it looks like whoever this is needs to kind of shake up things and really start letting people know what they really believe in. Be a leader. Open your yap and say, look, this is what I believe in, and reach out to people. Find some like-minded folks that are going to share those ideas with you and help them grow. Mentally, be open to new ideas about the creativeness of the idea in question. So if there's been something that you've been kind of thrown around in your head, a new idea that you're not quite sure on how you want to identify, or even a new idea that you're not sure on where you stand at. It could be anything from politics, spirituality, relationships, career, whatever it is that you've been just kind of thrown back and forth in your noggin and trying to think, how do I really feel about this? Reach out to somebody and ask, hey, help me look at this in a different light. And physically, invent a new way to do what you want to and get your ideas going. So right after you make sure that you get that creative new way to take care of those ideas that you've been having rattling around in your head forever, get them rolling. Get people to listen to those new ideas. Don't be afraid to open your mouth and say, hey, this is how I feel. This is how I think. Because no revolution was ever started because someone didn't open their mouth. That is not how anything changes or anything gets better. So if there is something that you know could make things better, if there is something that you know you could change because it is the right thing to do, open up, make those connections, step out of your comfort zone and start talking to people about how you feel and how you want things to change. But that is unfortunately all I have for tonight. I was going to go until 10 o'clock, but I'm not going to lie. I am definitely starting to run down after that caffeine high. I will see everyone again next Thursday, 9 o'clock. Hopefully, I will not be as exhausted from everything going on, and I will be able to do the full hour. Ravi, I would love to answer that question, but please note the comment right above that says if you would like a single card answer, it is $5 using Cash App or Venmo, or a 15-minute reading for $15. Or you can also use the link there to schedule a reading with me. But again, Tarot Destroyer, why do I feel like you are just a spammer? Because quite literally, yeah, Tarot Destroyer, you are either a spammer, really high, or really drunk. But I definitely appreciate you telling people to come over here to get their way found. Definitely make sure that you share the replay if you don't mind, and make sure that everyone knows that I'm going to be back here at 9 o'clock next Thursday. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, by the way, in case you're in a different time zone. But have a good night, everyone, and don't forget to jump on Facebook to catch a lot of my daily lives in case I still drop the ball on uploading the videos here. See everyone next week.